So is it fair to say that Elven Legacy takes off where Fantasy Wars ended?
Maybe, but the story of Elven Legacy and Fantasy Wars have not so many points of connections. So the players can play Elven Legacy without playing Fantasy Wars, and they will not lose anything.
What kind of lessons or what kind of feedback did you get from Fantasy Wars that you have tried to implement in Elven Legacy?
There are the same races which took part in the first game, but if in the Fantasy Wars elves were very few, there were, I don't remember, about 5 or 4 units. In Elven Legacy we made for them the whole race. So this is why Elven Legacy is about elves.
So in terms of the gameplay, what has been the main evolution?
Main evolution from Fantasy Wars, you mean? The main is the great improvement of artificial intelligence. It is the core changing of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence became much more clever than in Fantasy Wars. But also there are a lot of content, such as about 24 new units or about 10 new powerful artifacts, 40 spells, and many other things. There are unique places and so on.
Can you tell us about your favorite new unit and what it does?
Of course, it's the main hero, Sagitel. He's a very tough character. He's a very ancient elf who commands Elven army about 1,000 years. And in Elven Legacy, he have to make a very difficult choice between the fate of his own race or between the fate of his army, which he commands about many years ago.
What is it about elves that made you want to focus on them this time around, and what makes them good characters in a game?
I'm so tired about the classic characters of elves, like in Tolkien stories, or about like they're shown in Warcraft games. I think that elves could be more tough and even more cruel than we used to think. And in Elven Legacy we showed our angle of view to the elves.
The game has already been released in Russia. What has the reception been like?
Yes, the game was released in Russia at the end of last year. And there was a great, very high rankings from the press and from the players, and it's already have a very big community, which is making his own missions and planning to make a sequel for Elven Legacy without us.
But don't you have plans to expand Elven Legacy yourselves?
There will be 3 expansions. They will released during this year, and but they will be not about only elves. It will be about humans and orcs and dwarves, but the main characters will be humans. Story is not ending at the end of Elven Legacy. To be continued.
Have you already sort of thought out the whole world and have plenty of things to tell us about?
Our world, they're very detailed. We even wrote the fantastic stories about it, which is not included in the game, but for our own pleasure.
Maybe in another game in the future.
Maybe.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.